Hey YouTube family, this is kind of a part 2 to my previous video. What is self-hate? I wanted to talk about interracial relationships because there are people out there who feel like black men who date white women, and I really feel like it's only when they date white women. If a black man dates a woman of a different ethnicity, Spanish, Asian, whatever other ethnicities are out there, let it go. It's not a problem, but specifically white women, people have a problem with, say it's self-hate and they need to get back to their black women. Here's how I feel about interracial relationships. I'm all about, preserving culture. So I feel like, be careful, Papa. I feel like not just black men should date black women, even though that would be, I feel like that would uplift the black culture. You know, if a strong black man meets a strong black woman, you know, they can raise strong black babies and, you know, just rebuild the black culture, you know, turn it around for us. But mostly I feel like that if you actually have a culture, I grew up with 2 Haitian parents, and what I learned from them is invaluable. I feel like if things were different, if my parents, God forbid, were ever divorced, or if I was just not born to 2 Haitian parents, I would not know as much about my Haitian culture. I probably wouldn't be able to speak Creole as fluently as I do. You get what I'm saying? So if you're Italian, if you're Chinese, if you're Japanese, if you're from Trinidad, if you're Dominican, I feel like when you have 2 of the same, you know, cultures in the household, you absorb more of what it means to be, you know, those things. Any of those things. I mean, if you're just American, then, I mean, it doesn't really matter, because what culture does America have? What, apple pies and baseball? I don't know. But I feel like ethnicities with actual cultures, you know, you learn the food, you learn the language, you learn just a lot about your own people. So that's what I like, you know. I don't have a problem if someone dates outside of their, you just a demon. Date outside of their nationality. That's just how I feel, you know. If you do, it's kind of like a double whammy. If you choose to procreate, you know, your kids are definitely going to learn a lot about their culture. But if you decide not to, then hey, who cares? I mean, that's how I feel. Do you guys get what I'm saying? I'm not saying I have a problem with interracial cultures. I'm just saying I like when I can see that somebody knows their culture really well, because it bothers me when I see Haitian kids running around here don't even know how to speak Creole. And sometimes it really doesn't always work out, because sometimes you do have 2 Haitian parents. It's just that you're so focused on what's going on around you. You know, outside in the world, you don't really pay attention to what your parents are trying to teach you about your culture. So it doesn't work out sometimes. So, I mean, whatever. You guys, I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. But, if a guy or a woman dates outside her race, what are you doing? It's not always self-hate, like I said in the video before. There's a difference. I mean, it's the exception, not the rule. Things that work out like that, that's the exception. If there is a guy or a girl who choose to date outside the race because of self-hate, that is the exception, not the rule. I believe people who automatically assume that men or women of color date outside their race because of self-hate, like I said in the last video, I feel like that's something that has to do with you. I feel like when you see a guy or a girl with someone outside their race, you feel in your heart that this guy or girl chose to date outside their race because they think that there is something wrong with your race. Do you get what I'm saying? Not because that may actually be the case, but because that's the way you see it. You want to think that, oh, what, he don't like black girls, blah, blah, blah. I know we learned the push-pull factor in school. I'm not even sure what was that, economics or whatever. Sometimes it's not the push factor that draws men to the other race. Sometimes he's not pushed away by black women. Sometimes it's not because he doesn't like the way they look, he doesn't like the way they dress, he doesn't like the way they talk. That would be the push factor, you know, pushing him away from black women. Sometimes it's the pull factor from women of another race. He just likes that race, that culture. He wants to learn more about it. Typically, the women that he meets of that race or that culture, he has more in common with. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's not only that a man or a woman would date outside of his race because they feel like they're being pushed away from their race by, you know, our antics. Because, come on, we all know black people don't know how to act. But it's really not always the pushback. And I feel like if you walk down the street and you're upset that you see an interracial couple together, it's because you feel like there's a problem within your race. That's how you feel. You feel like there's a problem within your race, and you think, that's how you feel in your heart, you think that he thinks there's that same problem, so he's going to go to the next person. And that's not it. I'm trying to make a video, Big J. I feel like that's how people feel. So you can't think of your own self. Oh, he probably thinks we ghetto, or he probably don't like the weave, or he probably just don't like black women, blah, blah, blah. That's what you think he would think. That's what you're seeing in your community. You're seeing ratchet women. You're seeing the crazy weaves. You're seeing all that. You're seeing the ratchet antics. Sorry, puppy. Stop. Don't mess with that. No. Hey. Give it. Give it. Thank you. You're seeing all that, and you feel like